Hi folks, I'm from onandroid.com, where we get on Android every day. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about something other than Android. This video is really for those of you who like PCs. Anyway, I built a new PC since I got a new monitor. And previously I make YouTube videos, and what I'll do is I'll edit them with Adobe Premiere. And then I'll have to render it. Rendering process is basically where you turn the raw video into a smaller video after you edit it so you can upload it to YouTube. I mean, you can upload the raw video, but even at just 1080p, a 5-minute video could be like a gigabyte. If you upload that, it's going to take up a lot of bandwidth. Plus, you'll probably want to edit your videos. So by the time you render it, that only becomes 5 minutes, becomes like a 200 megabytes for 1080p videos. And now a lot of people are moving to 4K videos also. If you want to render that, you'll probably want a pretty powerful computer. So I did upgrade. I used to have a Intel i7 2600K. So I gave that to Peony. It's on my other desk over there. So I bought the Intel Core i7, the best one you can get, the 5960X. This one cost me $1,000. After installing it, after reading over some of the news, you actually don't need this, I would say, because this is a little bit overkill. But I got it anyways. One thing I can say about this, it's actually running right here. That's actually my PC. Is that it's got 8 cores, which means you can pretty much do a lot of things. Before, while my video was rendering, my computer was just kind of slow down, lag, and I couldn't do anything else. That's why I set up a bunch of different desks. Now I have 3 computer desks I can work here. And then after I install this, I no longer need those desks. I can just do everything on my computer now. Really cool. And this is actually 3 gigahertz. But you can overclock it. I've got liquid cooling. I'll show you in a second. And I've got it overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. That's 8 cores on 4.5 gigahertz. Of course, you can also play games pretty fast. I mean, it's the fastest processor out there. But you can pretty much do the same thing if you're just playing games. You can get, I think, 4960 or something a little bit lower, or 4760. That will still just be as good. It won't have as many cores. If you're just playing games, that's fine because you're not going to be doing anything else while playing games. But for me, I'll have to render the videos, and then I'll have to edit my sites. I want to go online and do all kind of other stuff. So this processor is perfect for those of you looking for professional editing. I mean, you can't even buy this. I don't think they even make any computers. So definitely this is the way to go. I've got liquid cooling. I put it in an open frame just like I used to make rigs, and it cools really good. And at 4.5 gigahertz, at full load, I'm just barely going over 50 degrees Celsius. And right now, I'll show you, while it's idle, it's running like 30 degrees Celsius. You can see here. Actually, it's running at 26. Oh, here we go. 27, 26, 25, 23. So not even 30 degrees while it's idling. Anyway, let me go ahead and show you my setup real quick. Let me take this camera off. All right, this is the temperature I was talking about. And let me go ahead and show you my setup here. That's the cooler. That's the radiator for the liquid cooling. It's got 2 fans. Also, there's the liquid cooling. I've got 32 gigs of RAM. And I've got just 2 graphic cards. I've been actually playing with Crossfire. Eventually, I'm going to put up to like 4 cards. Actually, I have a bunch of cards over here that I'm going to put on. You can see. So I couldn't get it working correctly, so I've been just switching back and forth between a bunch of different cards. I've been actually doing this like the whole day. I've got 2 Seasonic 850 watts connected with Add to PSU. Sorry for the mess. I'm still working on it, so this is not the final product. I've got a Samsung SSD Pro 850, 512 gigabytes. I got some old drives that I used to have. That's about it. And I've got my open frame case I used to sell on my site. Looking pretty good. So it's a pretty good setup. If you're doing any kind of rendering of, you know, stuff like that, this is going to be super fast. But so far I love it. I did take a video while I was doing it, so if you are interested in building something like this, it's not really a tutorial, but I just took a video while I was doing it because, you know, even though I built a lot of PCs, but this one is slightly different because it's sort of like a gaming PC. But you can refer to it. I'll put it at the end of this video. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you is that one thing good with this processor is that because it's got 8 cores, like before, what I would do is that when I was rendering videos, I do have another open PC like this in this other room, and the PC would get super loud, so I couldn't make another video in that room. With this one, it never gets that loud, it never gets that hot because there's so many processors. It handles it pretty good, so that's the biggest difference I've noticed. That's why I put it in an open case. It doesn't make sense to put it in a PC case, which I was going to actually put it in there because it's just going to get hotter. Now my processor runs like super cool because the liquid cooler is in the open, and also my graphic cards run super cool. Anyway, I'm still working on my new office. That's part of it. When I'm all done, I'm going to go ahead and show you everything, but for right now, that's what I've got. It's running pretty good. And if you guys want to see how I built it, I videotaped the whole process. So that will be coming next in this video. Otherwise, if you don't care about that, have a great day and stay on Android. Anyway, since I set up my new office, I figured I'd build a new PC. And I went out to get some parts, and I ended up getting some cool stuff, so I'll show you some of the stuff I've got. This is the Intel i7 5960X, the Haswell, the 8-core chip. This cost me $1,049. And also I got this 512 gigabyte Samsung SSD 550 Pro. And I've got DDR4 memory. I got, these are 8 gigs each. So 32 gigs total, and also got motherboard. This is the ASUS X99-A. You know, so I got this, and this one has 4 PCIe, so you can put up to 4 graphic cards. So I have that. Of course, some of you who have been following me while I was mining last year, you know I have a ton of graphic cards. So I just took some of these out of my old mining rig. I'm going to be using the ASUS R9 280X. You know, these are way better. I'm going to go ahead and put all these out. These are way better than the 290Xs, you know, because they make way less noise. Doesn't get as hot as the 290X. So I actually prefer the older 280X, the one with the fans. Anyone with the fans. The Asus are really good. The HIS is really good. Also the Queens are really good. The 3D Club. But I have a bunch of these laying around that I was going to sell on eBay. But since the Haswell, the 5960X supports Crossfire, meaning you can put 4 graphic cards together, and this is, I guess, one of the first chips that do it. So I figured, why not? I was going to build it out of a PC case that I have here, but I'm just going to build it on a rig. Because when you have 4 of these and you're in a case, it's going to get super hot, and it's just really going to damage your graphic card, especially if you're going to run it at full all the time. Instead, if you put it on like an open case like this, put a fan over it, then you can run it like so much more efficient. I mean, you know, all this learning knowledge I learned from mining, so that helps me building this. So I've got one of my open airframe cases that I used to sell. I actually have a full tutorial guide on how to make this, so go ahead and make this also. And for power supply, we're going to be using 2 of these. This is a Seasonic 850, the gold ones. If you can afford it, just get the platinum. Those are even better. But these are pretty good enough. These are 850 each. So both of these together, that's about 1700 watts. And I think that's plenty power. You could probably get away with like a 1200 watt, but you might be right on the edge. So since you know, I have a bunch of extra power supplies, I actually have a 1200 watt, but I'm gonna actually use 2 of these. I don't want to ever like run out of power and, you know, playing games or something and your PC stops. To hook these up, you can get these things called add to PSU. Basically adds 2 PSUs together safely. And also there's other methods, but this is what I have right now. So let's go ahead and build it. Let's go do this, baby. All right, folks, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the motherboard. You will need to make the motherboard holes somewhat near where these holes are. So let me go ahead and pull the motherboard real quick and check it out. This is the motherboard. Looks pretty badass. It's gonna go on like this, so you can access all your ports on the left, and then I'll have the power supplies over here. What I did for this frame is you can get these plastic risers. These are actually for cable tie holders or something, but they just stick on there, so they'll raise it a little bit. And I made the holes where the ATX holes go, all of these holes. They can be sort of random, but and then I'm just going to use these smaller zip ties and zip tie through them all, and that will secure the motherboard. So let me go ahead and do that first, and let me go ahead and change the camera angle here. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and use these cable ties. What I like to do is make them into 2 because these are a little bit short, and just do that. Then go through the ATX holes, and the holes you made on your wood frame there. And go ahead and tighten the bottom and then the top, and that will tighten it nicely. And do that for all of the holes. You know, you can do all of them. Doesn't really matter. But this way you can build the PC like super quick. I used to do this when I was building. I built like 20, well, I built a total of probably like 30 rigs, mining rigs. And I could just make a mining rig, the whole thing in about an hour from scratch to start. So I have to always figure out best ways I can actually make it fast. But you can make it nice and look pretty and stuff, but I mean, it's the same thing. But a lot of people wonder why, you know, why you need open airframe PC. I mean, after having mining PCs, I find these way better, easier to clean. People say it gets dusty and stuff, but look at your PC case. Go look at it right now. I bet you it's dirty as hell unless you clean it every week, unless you're one of those fanatic gamers. So this is like great. You just take a air blower, and just blow it once a month, and then it's super clean. I mean, that's how I feel, but whatever. Anyway, let me go ahead and fast forward all this. So go ahead and zip tie everything. As you can see, I've got it all zip tied nicely, so it won't fall. That's just really the whole point. And it is a little bit lifted off the ground a little bit. Those risers, that's what it does. Also, make sure you cut off all the ends so it looks nice. So cut off all the cable ties after you do it, and that will make it a nice finished product. All right, next for the CPU, it says here, and here is the i7-5960X. Take a look at that. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty badass. There we go. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and install this. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and place it there where the triangle is. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this guy first, I think. Where's it, this guy first? Pretty sure it's this guy and then this guy. So it's on there. All right, and I'm just gonna double check if I did it right. All right, it should be right. It's right. The right way. All right, I just feel like there's a pin that's all weird there, but maybe that's supposed to be normal. Hope that's normal. All right, let me go ahead and place this back on there. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some memory. All right, so if I'm using 4 of these, 4 memory cards, I'll wanna use all the gray ones here. So let me go ahead and insert it here. I should have got better memory, but for right now, I just wanted to get it up and running. All right, next I'm gonna go ahead and place one of the power supplies. If you're just using one, you can just put one here. If you're using 2 like me, you can go get one of the ASUS to PSU and put it in the middle. I'm gonna try to align it to the outer level as much as possible. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use these zip ties to tie them this way and tie them laterally and horizontally. And you can use these holes down here and then connect another one under it. And you know, you can get it more secure, but this is the miner's method of doing it. As long as it's secure, it shouldn't matter too much. All right, that's pretty secure. Make sure you pull it and just make it super secure. And I actually make sure you have enough room for your motherboard cable there. So I might actually put the cable on first. So let me grab the cable. Next, go ahead and get the motherboard cable. Plug it in first, because these things, this motherboard especially, it's actually blocking the way a little bit. And make sure it's on there, security. Okay, finally on there. And I'm gonna go ahead and connect these real quick. The motherboard, there's 2 of them. One on the bottom here and bottom of the PSU. Depending on what PSU you use, it might be different. And I've got the motherboard inserted. All right, other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and you'll probably want to get some jumper cables and kind of do that, and then just put a cable over it. Otherwise, this cable will get sort of messy. Go ahead, take a jumper cable here, cable tie, and I'm going to go ahead and just tighten it. Here we go. And there we go, boom shakalaka. All right, that's what it looks like. Sorry for the camera angle. All right, I may want to move this a little bit. All right, so I'm done with the power supply, but I do need another one going horizontally, otherwise this thing gonna fall out sometime. if you move it horizontally. So I'm going to get more jumper cables, put one in sideways through one of these holes. Nope, I'm going to go from the bottom. That will be easier. Here we go. So I'll need some more jumper cables, cable ties, sorry, and one more. Total of 4 to tie this thing across. All right, likewise, make it super tight so it won't come apart. And you can go ahead and cut the edges out. There we go. There we go, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually test out the motherboard, and then I'm gonna put the other power supply because for testing the motherboard, make sure it works before I put on everything else. I will need all. I don't need all of that power. Next, you'll need the other motherboard cable. So go ahead and find the CPU. All right. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and also put this where the CPU is. Here we go. All right, so I have power to the motherboard. That's pretty much it. That's what it looks like right now. And what else do I need to test out the power? Ask myself. And obviously, I will need a graphic card. So let me go ahead and do that next. All right, I don't have a, there we go. So for a graphic card, look for the labels here. This is PCIe 16.1, and this is PCIe 16.2, PCIe 16.3, and PCIe 16.4. You'll want to put it on the first one to test it out because that's where your computer will power up on the PCIe 1. And I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my R9 280Xs and put it right there. I can change the position later, but for now, I'm just going to put it there. And I'm going to go ahead and put a screw down so it won't move around. All right. And you'll need obviously a PCIe riser. You can get these I like the most because they create more airflow. If you get the full 16x to 16x, it really blocks the airflow, and I don't really like it. This one you can go ahead and insert the smaller end here. All right, and that's it. And also, you'll need power to the to your graphic card. So go ahead and grab one of these PCIe cables for your PSU. And I'm going to go ahead and use one of these slots. There we go. And also, if you're using 1200 watt PSU, sometimes they don't come with enough cables. You'll have to get an additional cable to do that, so watch out for that. That's why I prefer using 2-power PSUs, and you have a ton of cables, enough to power actually up to like 6 graphic cards if you want it. This actually design is for 6 graphic cards, but you know, since we'll be using Corsair CPU cooler, so we'll need more room for that. So I think we're all done here as far as basic functionality. What you'll need to do, you can get one of those power switches, or what I like to do is just find where the power switch is, and you can go ahead and turn it on manually with your screwdriver. I'm gonna put one later on, but I just feel lazy. And what you can do is have after you boot in the first time, set your motherboard to auto boot when it powers off. When power goes out, then it'll always turn on. Then you can just go ahead and I usually just hibernate it anyways. All right, that is done. I have power to the motherboard, PCIe cable. This should at least boot up. Let me go ahead and test this out real quick and see if that works. And also I have it's good to use a wireless mouse and keyboard. That way you don't have a bunch of cables running around when you're testing it. But anyway, let me go ahead and I've connected my keyboard. Go ahead and connect power here. And I just hope it boots up. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and connect it to my monitor over here. Connect the PC. All right, let me go ahead and jump start it. I'm going to go ahead and the power came on here. Oh, there's a power switch. Awesome. Isn't that awesome? There's a power switch actually, so I don't have to use this. This motherboard is pretty cool. So there's the power switch. There's even a power LED. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And boom shakalaka. I don't have a CPU fan, but it should at least boot up. And I'm powering on. And there's power to the CPU. But my monitor is blank. That's not good. But I'm getting an error code. It says 690, so I'm going to go ahead and check that real quick. So I got it running after a couple seconds, 20 seconds or so. I got it running. So if you get that screen, you're good to go. I'm just getting CPU fan error, obviously, because I don't have CPU. But you can see my CPU is working. I'm going to go ahead and build the rest of this. All right, that's good news because I thought I screwed up something with the CPU when I was putting it on, but I was wrong. And I'm going to go ahead and power off now. And the rest of it should be pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other PSU on, if I can find it here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. All right, may have missed some of the video for some reason. But basically I installed the second PSU, connect it to the app to PSU. And next I'm going to go ahead and connect a power. You can use the first one or second one, it doesn't matter. I just use the second one, whatever is comfortable. Easier to get to. Let me go ahead and connect this bad boy here. And boom shakalaka. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and figure out where I'm gonna put this guy. Put it anywhere, and I'm probably gonna just zip tie him. I'm gonna go ahead and connect it real quick. Sorry, the angle is not the best. Next time I'll use my Google Glass. All right, let me do this. Can't see anything here. What are you doing? All right, I'm going to go ahead and connect the cable to the SATA power. Why it doesn't want to connect today? There we go. Just click there, and I'll need a cable for the hard disk. And it should be in your motherboard box. All right, so I can use any of the SATA on this side over here. And just kind of imagine how are you going to mount it on there. Let me go ahead and mount it. Let me see. You can screw it on, but I like taking things easy. I'm going to actually just put it over here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to cheat here and use those things. All right, let me just connect these cables on first. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the 90 degree so it won't get in the way. And here we go. And the motherboard is ready. Go ahead and connect it to the SATA. First SATA. There's probably a gazillion SATA for you. All right. Connected to your SATA. First SATA, I see. Sorry if it's on the other side of the motherboard, but there's a bunch of them. Just connect it, and you may want to just. I'm gonna hold down the mother. I'm just gonna cable tie everything over here, and I ran out of cable ties, so I'm gonna go ahead and. And later I'll just get some ties and tie it down right there. Or what you can do is get creative and use something. Okay, I don't want it flopping around. I'm gonna just grab the smaller cable ties that I've got. Just tie it down. There we go. It looks a little funky, but it's fine. As long as you know, it doesn't move around, it should be fine right there. All right, I'm actually gonna put the cable, because I'm not gonna power on the second one right now. I'm gonna actually do that later. Because I don't have enough cables over here to reach. So I'm just gonna put the main one. I'm gonna go ahead and install OS. Just make sure, you know, you probably want to always install with like the minimum graphic card. Sometimes it'll not work, but let me see if I can install Windows here. And we go ahead and install. I'll be back. All right, guys. I'm going to install the CPU cooler actually first. Before I can boot it up. It will not boot up without that. Almost forgot. So let me go ahead and install this CPU cooler, liquid cooler. And I'm going to probably place it right, just mount it right about there. I'm not sure how exactly I mount it. But let's go ahead and try it. So I've got the H100i cooler. You can probably get the biggest one if you're using open air frame. I got initially this for my other PC box there. But let me go ahead and install this real quick. Alright, I may need to install some plates and stuff, so which was good. Alright, this thing is huge. That's good. This thing is huge. It's that big. With the radiator. Comes with 2 fans. Alright. 2 fans, 2 big fans. Whoa. Alright. And some fan cables. It should be pretty easy to do. And I think this is the mount for the under the motherboard, so I'll have to get under the motherboard somehow. And some more mounts. I'm gonna have to get a little bit creative with this one. All right, bunch of screws. let me go ahead and read the manual and find out how I can do this. So I lucked out here, folks. For the LG2111 socket, you don't need it. You can just go ahead and use this one and just connect it to the socket existing screws here on the end, and just put the pump on there, and that's pretty much it. So get the 4 screws in there. All right, and we'll have liquid cooling in place. And for the liquid cooling, I'm just gonna go ahead and place this thing like right, just like one of the graphic cards. I don't really need the space. For all the graphic cards, I'm gonna put it on the side there. So that's good news, because I thought I'd have to flip the frame backwards and install some new stuff, but ended up a little bit easier than that. Alright, so I've got the 4 standoffs on, and I think, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just place it on there. I need to still figure out how I'm gonna mount this. I'm gonna just definitely, I need to somehow hold it like this, so I might get a piece of wood here. All right, but hold on a second. Let me go ahead and place the CPU on there first, because we're good to go. I don't want to waste any more time. All right, there's a bracket that goes over the top of the liquid cooler, and I'm just going to place it over these screws here, and go ahead and use the provided screws and screw it in. There we go. All right, here we go. Get one in there. Yeah, so these new motherboards are awesome for liquid cooling. You just screw it on. You don't need any back plates. It's going to be great for, obviously, open frames like this, so you don't have to come up with your DIY solution, which can take a longer time. I'm so glad they have this. Otherwise, I'd be spending an additional hour trying to figure out which is the best way. All right, next I'm gonna go put the fans on. I forgot to do that. I should have done that in the beginning, but I can do it now also. And I'm just gonna simply use the long screws, just strap them on there. And I'm gonna have the air going in to out, obviously. I don't want the air going towards the graphic cards. So there's 8 screws total. Just gotta get it on there. And the fans will basically draw the heat out. And later on I can put, if I put the intakes towards the inside of the frame here, the rig, I can go ahead and use a fan to drive the cool air into the middle of the frame, which is the reason why I used a open frame. And then all the cold air is going to go to the graphic cards and to the radiator. Now only one more problem I got to figure out is how to mount it. It looks pretty simple. All right, I'm going to definitely put a mount, but for right now I'm just going to kind of use the hoses and just stick it onto the frame temporarily. Alright. Ooh, that's just looking nice now. The screw kind of clamped on real nice. It's nice and solid in there actually. So just a DIY solution for right now until I can figure out how to mount it better. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and connect the cables. Pull this black thing out and then you'll actually see the pins. Take me like a little bit to figure that out. So it's the first time installing this type of cooler. There we go. I should get better as I go along, but this is my first build of this type. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use cables. Just get these things neatly tucked away. All right, here we go. So they won't flop around while it's running. Go ahead and clamp it down over here. And there we go. No cables. And also over here. Sorry, my camera angle is probably horrible. Trying to do my best here, but there we go. This cooler is gigantic. Love it. Here we go, out of sight. And cut these off. We're almost done. There's one more cable that goes on. It's a mini USB cable that goes from the side of the cooler. Let's go ahead and align it. And there we go, boom shakalaka. And this, I think, goes into your USB power. All right, so let me go ahead and put it in there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and connect the other cable to one of the USBs here. And here we go. I'm gonna actually go out here. And you can see one of the pins is gone. So I'm gonna use the second one actually. Or actually, it doesn't really matter. And that should do it. Oh, try that again. There we go, boom shakalaka. This cable is all running around a little bit. And there's also another cable to SATA power. So I'm going to connect it to one of the hard disk SATA power I have just sitting here and doing nothing. And I'm going to go ahead and connect it to SATA. All right. And it requires a lot of power. Oops, sorry, that was from the actual pump. That's another wire. But you can go ahead and connect this 3-pin to any 3-pin it says. So I'm going to go ahead and find a 3-pin. I'm going to go ahead and connect it to one of these fan ones, the 4-pin, but you can also fit 3-pin, I think. Yep. So that's connected. The pump is connected. I'm going to get this out of the way. This cable's sort of in the way. Also kind of put that on the frame so it won't move around. And I'm going to make sure it goes under the frame because I need room for the extra graphic card. So I'm going to make sure it's under the frame here and secure it down here. There we go. So our cooler, I think, is done. Finally. Took me forever. All right, I'm going to go ahead and now boot it up, install OS, so I can boot it up, make sure everything's working, and I'm going to probably put additional hard disks. So I might put more hard disks over here. So I finally got it up and running. I got the BIOS screen there, and looking pretty good. I got everything working, just one of the memory cards not recognizing, which sort of sucks. But this motherboard's really cool. There's LEDs on the bottom. I'll show you later. But let me go ahead and install OS, because I don't have an OS, so I can boot this thing, and I'll be back. Hi folks, so I've install Windows. It actually took me 3 hours to install Windows 7. Sorry. What's wrong with this? What happened was that I was keep getting blue screen of death after installing, and I figured out it was my new wireless keyboard. I had the Bluetooth USB module on there. Just take it out when you're after installing Windows, and after 4 hours, I finally figured it out. I did put the other cards on there for now, and I put the Crossfire on there. I'll show you everything, but I'm gonna go ahead and install the drivers, and then I'm gonna try to see if it will recognize the Crossfire. Well, if it will boot with all the 4 cards, and I will be back. Hi folks, so I started around 4. It's already 11. It's been like 7 hours. I spent most of the time installing Windows for like 4 hours because I keep getting a blue screen of death. But I finally got it set up. I've got 4 cards on here. I've connected to the PCIe, 3 Crossfires. Basically, you want one going across, and then the other one bridging, and then the other one there. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I'm going to go ahead and power this on. And if I don't, yep, see that? I'm not getting any power with my, I'm not getting any power for some reason, so I'm going to have to shut it off real quick. Hold on a second. Damn it. Not getting any power. Oh, I got it. See this cable here? I had it hooked up to the same power supply. This other, yeah, I can show you. So this cable, the motherboard cable, should be coming from the second PSU. The other one should be going into your peripheral, this one here, and this one signals the PSU to power the other one. So let's try it now. And do we have takeoff? Yes. So I've got everything powered on. Sorry, this angle is just camera angle is funky because I should have definitely used a Google Glass for this. But everything's powering on, and we're gonna go ahead and check if my Windows pops up here. I'll go like that so you can see. All right, it's been a long day. I spent all day trying to make this happen, and you can see it's powering on. And it was this mouse, this new Microsoft mouse, and the Bluetooth one. The Bluetooth adapter would keep giving me BSOD for like 4 hours, so I spent 4 hours doing that. Oh, see, I got another BSOD. This could be from the Crossfire. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe just use 3. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the last PCIe down here, and that's probably all that's required. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab a beer here because it's been a long day. I mean, at least my machine's working. But I'll give you a view from here in a bit. Just been a long day. And I'm gonna go ahead and start Windows normally. All right, Windows is starting. So 4 graphic cards is a no-go, but 3 graphic cards is a go. I don't know why this happens. Maybe it could be the limits with Windows 7. I had the same thing happen with my other rig I made, which I have it actually running. So 3 is working. This is just not powering on because I took the PCIe out. I may fiddle with it later. It could be that the motherboard I got maybe only supports up to 3. But you can see it's working, yay. I gotta do some more checks and I will be back. Hi folks, I was actually able to boot with 4 graphic cards. So I moved from this slot the regular 16X to 1X slot, and now it's booted. I see 4 graphic cards on there. But I think it's a problem because it keeps linking. So this is a problem. But here is the finished product. Let me go ahead and show you so you can really see exactly what was going on earlier, I think. Here we go. So that is a radiator. Cooler, liquid cooler. That thing's huge, and it's not even running right now. And I've got, like I told you, I've got them crossfired this way, and then to here, and then to here. I guess that's how you're supposed to do it. Again, I'm having some trouble, so I might take one of the last cards out for now. But 3 card is a go for crossfire. And I've got my SSD strapped there. Oops, and I've got 2 hard disks strapped on there. I might later get something that doesn't look so ghetto. You know, one of those slide in and out. But looking real good. I'm gonna go ahead and optimize it, obviously install software, and I'll have an update on this, but that's about it. It's like 11 o'clock, but I finally built my new PC. Pretty happy. This is supposed to be like super fast, so I should be able to upload more high quality videos. Oh, you know what? I think it might be okay. Okay, it was installing something, that's why it was all flickering, but I think it's fine now. So I've got it working with 4 cards. They're all running, as you can see. It's actually still installing software, so the flicker was probably just nothing, hopefully. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and hoist this up on my shelves over there, away from my desk. And yeah, I should have a full review of this. That's about it for now. But I hope this helps for those of you who are new to building PCs. If you know how to build PCs, this should still be helpful. The open frame actually works really well for the radiator. You got this whole space for the radiator, and then for the crossfire, you have the maximum amount of space between, without pulling it too far. And yeah, this open air frame is going to be